So here I want to go over an exercise I call the Serratus scrape the ceiling. Essentially what we're doing is using this TheraBand, shortening the lever arm of your arm around the elbow instead of the hand, and we're just going to create shoulder protraction and elevation by using the Serratus Anterior. So all you're going to need is a TheraBand. So I want you to lay down on that and try to get it right along your shoulder blade. So I'm going to lie right on top of that and then bring it around my elbow and then hold on to it with my hand. I'll do the same thing on the other side. From here, lying on your back, push those elbows straight towards the ceiling and then think about using a rocking motion. Think about you'd almost scrape the ceiling, right? So you're up and keep going up, and then you bring yourself back down, keeping your elbows up towards the ceiling, and then come back down. The reason you want to push through the elbows and not your hand is because you're actually just protracting that humerus, right? That upper arm. Having your elbows extended leads you to maybe use tricep or something else to compensate for that. So going through your elbow makes it a lot harder to use anything else other than the serratus that we're trying to use. So put that all together again. Put around your elbow. Hold on to it with your hand. Push that elbow straight up towards the ceiling. Thinking about using that shoulder blade. Bring that shoulder blade up and around, protracting. And then elevating up in an arc motion. Come back down, up, arc, back down. You really want to focus on not using upper trap, and that's why it's so important to use your shoulder blade, almost thinking of like an uppercut, that your elbow is leading the motion up and around. So give that one a shot. So here I want to go over the Serratus rock back. It's a very basic exercise that really gets down to the roots of what the muscle actually performs, is scapular elevation and protraction. So we'll go into a quadruped position on all fours. From here, I want you to think about pushing your arm into the floor, pushing your body away from it as you rock your body back. And so from here, push up, push the floor away from you as your body goes back towards your heels. On your way back, you do the same thing, just opposite. Keep that body pushed away from the floor and come back over your hands. Again, push away, push through your palms, push your body back away from the floor. That shoulder blade is coming up on the rib cage, protracting around and creating shoulder elevation. Rock back nice and slow. Come back to the start position, nice and slow. You should feel that working right around the side of your rib cage, where that serratus comes into play. So give that a shot. Here I want to go over the serratus foam roll elevation with a mini band. Kind of a mouthful. All you're going to need is a foam roll and a mini band. So to start, you're going to put the mini band around your wrists, and then put your hand on the foam roll right about shoulder chin height. From there, keep those wrists apart, forearms stay parallel, and push up through your elbows. A couple things to think about when we're doing this is, I almost like to think of the end of my arm being my elbow versus my wrist. So I'm actually pushing my upper arm forward versus actually pressing overhead. So it ends up being more of an uppercut, and that allows me to get more shoulder protraction, shoulder blade protraction, and elevation. It also helps to limit upper trap overactivation. So it prevents me from shrugging as I go up, and I can actually just get good, pure elevation using my shoulder blade. The other thing to keep in mind is, as you're doing this, keep a nice tight braced core so you don't arch as you go up. Everything stays tight. Push up there. You don't want to overextend as you rise, because you're going to run out of room and you'll start to compensate, such as that lumbar extension. So, putting that all together, Foam roll around the wrists, wrists on foam roll, starting from shoulder height, push through the elbows, keep those forearms parallel, core stays tight, rise up as far as I can, control on the way back down. One more time. The purpose of the mini band is to get a little bit of shoulder external rotation activation. So you're going to use infraspinatus teres minor as you're going up. The mini band wants to bring you into internal rotation, and you want to flare your elbows. That's going to make it easier. The trick is to keep your elbows tight, keep your wrists pushed apart to keep those forearms nice and parallel as you rise up. So you'll feel that one, you should feel that one, right around the side of your rib cage where that serratus runs. Let's give that a shot.